What are possessive adjectives and why are they so important in Latin? That's what we're going to have a look at today. If you're not sure about any of your noun endings, this booklet will really help you. It's a free noun endings guide to the first, second and third declensions, and these are going to be really important endings for when you talk about possessive adjectives. So go and download it from the link in the description below. It's completely free and it's just to help you out. Now, before we talk about possessive adjectives, let's just recap pronouns. I did a video on this last time, I'll put a link in the description, but pronouns are used in place of a noun. And they're used to avoid repetition. So instead of saying, the girl saw the boy, the girl greeted the boy, you would say, the girl saw the boy, she greeted him. That's what a pronoun is. And they are also used to make more complex sentences, as well as just making basic ones less busy. Now, pronouns are really useful, but there are some times when you have to use a possessive adjective instead. Now, a possessive adjective agrees with a noun, and it follows the 2-1-2 adjective endings that we expect. So, second declension masculine if it's describing a masculine noun, first declension feminine if it is describing a feminine noun, and second declension neuter if it is describing a neuter noun. That's why you need to know your noun endings. So do go and download that booklet from the link in the description if you need help with those. And they show possession, as it says in the name. Let's explain what that means. Last time, we looked at genitive pronouns. They are things like pars mei, a part of me. Mei is in the genitive, and this is what's called a partitive genitive. I'm taking a small part of myself, rather than the whole thing. However, if I wanted to say my part, possessively, I would say pars mea. This is different to a genitive pronoun. This is now a possessive adjective. So, first person possessives, meus, mea, meum. This is following the 2-1-2 endings. In the plural, it would be noster, nostra, nostrum. Meus means my, noster means our. Now, they can be in any case, number, and gender. So, fratres meos amatis means you love my brothers. Meos is accusative, plural, and masculine because it agrees with fratres. It does not agree with me. I would be feminine singular. However, this is nothing to do with me. It has to agree with fratres. It agrees with the noun that it is describing. They are my brothers. In the plural, it's exactly the same. Vinum nostrum malum est. Our wine is bad. In this case, vinum is nominative neuter, and therefore so is nostrum. It's nominative singular and it is neuter to agree with vinum. So first person possessives, meus and noster, nostra, nostrum. They can be any case, any number, any gender. So can the second person possessives. Tuus means your singular, and vestra, vestra, vestrum means your plural. Amici tui adsunt. Your friends are here. This is nominative, plural, and masculine because it is your friends who are here. The friends are here is the main sentence. Tui just agrees with amici. Ad terram vestram festino. This one means I am hurrying to your land. This is an accusative of motion towards. Ad terram, to the land. Vestram has to therefore agree with terram, so it has to be accusative, singular, and feminine. It does not matter that vestram itself means you plural. This is just when I'm talking to a group. Vestram can be singular, just as tui can be plural. That's something a little bit confusing to get your head around, but it's really important. The meaning of it being a singular tuus does not change even though the ending matches a plural noun. Amici tui adsunt, I'm talking to one person, but I'm talking about multiple friends. It's the opposite in the second sentence, ad terram vestram festino. Vestram, I'm talking to multiple people. I'm hurrying to all of your land, to the land of all of you. But land itself is singular, so vestram has to be singular. This is something really key to get your head around. For third person possessives, we have to do something a little bit different. We have reflexive third person possessives, and that is suus eorum. Urbem suam videt means he sees his own city. It reflects back to the nominative of the sentence. Urbem is accusative, so suam has to agree with it. However, it is the person doing the videt who it is referring to. That's how reflexives work. If you're not entirely sure about that, go and watch that pronouns video. I do explain what reflexive pronouns are there. So this is a reflexive possessive, so it's a little bit different, but it is still reflecting back to the person doing the main verb. Suum, again, has to be accusative, singular, and feminine, because urbs, the city, is a feminine noun. It's third declension feminine. Now, suus has to agree in case, number, and gender. That is why suam goes with urbem. It is feminine, even though I have assumed it is he who is seeing the city. If I have urbem suam vident, that means they see their city. So suus eorum means his, her, its, and their. So in meaning, it is singular and plural. You just have the one word for all of the third persons. In the one in blue, urbem suam vident, the nt on the end of the verb tells me it is they. They see. Suam agrees with urbem still. It is still their city, still possessive, and it is reflecting back to the people doing the main verb. But because urbem is still singular and accusative feminine, suam also has to be singular accusative feminine. So as well as reflectives, we also have non-reflective third-person possessives. This is when it's talking about someone else, someone who is not doing the verb. And I have to use eius. Now this is the genitive of is, ea, it that we looked at last week in personal pronouns. Eius is used for the singular, for masculine, feminine, and neuter nouns. Eorum is used if it's a masculine plural, earum for a feminine plural, and eorum again for a neuter plural. So for example, fratrem earum vocavi, I called their brother. This is a genitive plural feminine. It's plural because it is more than one woman who has this brother. He is the brother of multiple women. And therefore it is not reflective because it's not talking about me. He's not my brother. And it is also not the brother who we are talking about. Now, because this is a genitive, it is just showing possession. It does not have to agree with the noun it's describing. So earum does not agree with fratrem. This is a little bit different to a reflexive third-person possessive. It does not have to agree in case, number, gender with the noun it is describing because it is a non-reflexive pronoun. So just to recap, non-reflexives, you just use the genitive of is, ea, it. That makes it very different from a reflexive third-person possessive. So for a singular, you would use eius for masculine, feminine, and neuter. So that means his, her, or its brother. But for a plural, you use eorum if it's multiple men, earum, multiple women, and eorum, multiple neuter nouns. So let's have a little recap. First person possessives, you use meus for the singular my, but that can be singular or plural. And noster, nostra, nostrum is also able to be singular and plural, even though the meaning is our. Second person possessives are the same, tuus, and vestra, vestra, vestrum. Tuus is you singular, vestra is you plural. Third, reflexive possessives, you use suus, for singular or plural, and they all, first, second, and third, agree with the noun they are describing. Third person non-reflexives, eius and eorum, eorum, they just use the genitive of is, ea, id. They do not have to agree with the noun that they are describing because they are genitive in their own right. If any of this has made you a little bit confused, go and re-watch my pronouns video when Latin gets personal. That's where I really go over how pronouns work. This is just specifically when you are talking about possessives, when you need to use the genitive, but we don't always use the genitive pronoun. We use the possessive adjective instead. It's much more versatile and it's much more widely used, so it is important to understand the three uses of the possessives on the left of this screen. Meus, noster, nostra, nostrum, tuus, vestra, vestra, vestrum, and suus, Really super important. Make sure you download that noun endings guide from the link in the description below. It will really help you out as you learn these endings because, as you can see, lots of these adjectives use the 2-1-2 endings that we are so familiar with. So if you're not familiar with them, go and download that noun endings guide. It will help you, I promise. How do you feel about possessive adjectives? Have I just completely confused the situation, or is that a little bit clearer? Let me know in the comments. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time on Bambasbat.